My name is Pearson with Ma3SP. I've been in the technology role since July 19, and I've been with Arsenal since January of 2022. I heard about Arsenal through a Facebook advertisement that was on my feed, and then did my investigation, looked at the company's website, and saw that it could be a good fit for myself to grow the business. What interested me about Arsenal is the education. It looked like through the Facebook ads that they would educate, help through the process. I am not a sales type person. I'm more technical. I know the technology, know how to do the stuff, but struggled in that. And they were able to help produce those leads, get me out in the area to meet people that will eventually grow the business. It's been going real well for me with Arsenal. They're booking, I would say, 6 to 10 appointments a month. They're discovery appointments. A lot of businesses are already under contract, so we have to wait. But me being new, I just like to be able to get out there and not knowing that aspect, meeting people and leaving those business cards for future time. The Arsenal partnership, monthly meetings with the sales rep, and my sales rep is Connor Shaw. We meet on the second Tuesday of the month. He goes over the things from the prior month, and we talk on the phone, through emails, probably 5 to 10 times a week. He will call anytime there's a new booking, even though I already see the email through the booking portal. And he'll give me the insights for what he does. I would also have access to listen to the recordings through that and be able to hear what they're talking about so I can be prepared. Then I go and do my own investigation on the website, some services that I do for my clients, and to be prepared to walk into that meeting and show them what I can do. The strengths of Arsenal is the sales process. They're real good at calling people, getting people on the phone, getting through the gatekeeper is the biggest strength that I've seen working with them for the last 8 months. No, cold calling is not dead. They know how to get through to get the key decision makers on the phone, and they do a wonderful job at that. I would say it's working. In the 7 months, I've got two clients with that, and it's working. Kind of excited to see how it's going to go further. The partnership with Arsenal overall has been outstanding. They work real well. There's great communication through everything. Always keeps us up to date, keeps myself up to date on the things that are going on in the Friday recaps of the emails. It just keeps us in the loop. The Friday recaps are helpful. It's just an email summarizing the week. Connor will list the appointments that he's made, the people that they've talked to, and a little bit of notes in them, like if one person he talked to is not ready till the end of the year, it will be listed in there as well. That this person was a lead, just not ready yet. We'll be following up with them third quarter, fourth quarter in that. So it gives us the information that to look forward to. The follow-up process has been outstanding. The things that I don't know, and then there'll be times where we'll call somebody and they might not be ready in January or February, but now they're ready in June and July. So having that follow-up process in that online system has just been a godsend. Before Arsenal, I worked 25 years in K-12 education as an employee COVID hit and they came to me and says, we want to pay you as a vendor. So in my realm, I came with 5 clients already that paid my salary. But when they kind of backed out after 2.5 years, I knew I needed to find some sales. And it was just in that time frame that Arsenal came across my Facebook feed to be able to do that. Thought I was going to retire from education. Well, we found out that wasn't the case. That one would, what you guys can do better, that's going to be a tough one because I'm new to the industry, the technology. So I don't have nothing to compare it to. The process was after the book, when Connor does the booking, I would go to the appointment, share them what I can do with my educational background. The one that was the school that was closed, or was a closed deal, they were really hurting for technology. They didn't have a person, their previous person left 8 months ago. So I already had an in with them. It was technology director at the school that I've already worked with. So that one was fairly easy. Some of these other ones, it's been a little difficult getting through to them. After we've had a couple times where we do 2 or 3 meetings, and it's just trying to find the right resource, the right time. Everything happens on a timeline. So once we hit that right time, then the deal will close. And I'm patient. The difference between Arsenal and hiring somebody off the street is Arsenal's a vendor, so it's a flat rate. Hiring somebody off the street, you don't know what their skill set is. With COVID and everybody hurting for work, employees, in my mind, it was a no-brainer to go to an outside vendor because they knew the industry, they know their people, and they just perform much better than trying to train somebody all the technology things, all the resources, and then having them make the calls. I've seen other businesses in my area that I work with, they're struggling on the sales side. And I don't have that struggle working with Arsenal. I would say it's definitely worth the cost. The monthly recurring revenue that have helped bring in is about $6,000 per month at this time. I would have to say yes, Arsenal has helped me achieve the goals with the 2 proposals that were closed, 3 proposals that were closed, because going into it, the whole mindset was just to get out there, and the extra revenue has helped in these last 3 months. I don't have a preference on in-person versus virtual. I know that working in education, there's times would need to be virtual for distance, saving time instead of driving. And me, even if we're under COVID type restrictions, you just do what you got to do to get out there. Because it's going to be meeting people, getting in there, meeting the right person to get those deals. And other businesses and the peer groups that I'm in, even with COVID, they still thrived in the time because they just was out there doing what they had to do to get the job done. Expectations I hold guys to is the same that you've done for the last 7 months. You do great job, keep it up. Let's just keep rocking. Arsenal averages roughly 5 appointments per month for me doing the calling. I would think in the next 3 months, it would be nice to close 3 appointments, 1 appointment a month, knowing that 1 is with the school and that contract is coming to an end as they're getting ready to hire a replacement for me. And I knew it was going to be short term anyhow. So having 1 extra a month, the next 3 months would be awesome. See, for me being new, starting in January of 19, I have not used anybody else. Arsenio's been the first one to do this outbound lead generation. So there's no other prior experience with anybody. I've had no other people call, and going into it, just having the normal calling and getting the appointments out there, it was just a win from the beginning. A revenue share with Arsenio. And normal, when I signed up, it was 10%, but knowing the work that Connor goes through, I throw an extra 10% in there on all the revenue that they bring in to show the appreciation. For me starting up, the revenue share was more easy on the budget. Knowing all these IT company vendors, they lock you into a minimum, and I don't meet the minimums being a small 5 customer company. So a lot of the tools I have to buy 40 and 50 licenses, which eats it up. So the revenue share was a lot more economical for me. And then any deal close, I just give the 20%, showing the appreciation over the 10% that was required. My vision with the partnership between myself and Arsenio is lifetime. If we hit $50,000, $100,000 a month, they're still going to be there with me, because you just never know. What I would say with somebody that's looking to partnership with Arsenal, if you don't have the sales side of things down, it would be a no-brainer to do that. Do what you do best, let them do what they do best, and that partnership will grow. I would recommend Arsenio to anybody who would call me and ask what my experience is, and long as that partnership works with that company or whoever that is, it will be a no-brainer to do. My final thoughts are, it has been a great partnership between my company and Arsenio. It just could not expect anything better. And they're doing a wonderful job now, and just keep it going, and it'll be a long-term relationship.
So I think the relationship with us, I mean, we talk pretty frequently, and it goes both ways. And, you know, Graham does a ton with just filling out the notes on every single appointment. Makes it a lot easier for me to follow up, knowing what I'm talking about, and having that ability to, you know, go in and say, I know you're looking for XYZ. You know, we talked about anything from cabling, hardware orders, cybersecurity, yep, you know, the whole 9 yards, and knowing those different specific industry terms that maybe I'm not familiar with, but I can reference based on his notes, just really helps out a ton, I think. And it's something that more clients, I think, should do on educating their reps and being able to say, you know, making sure they're as familiar with the IT process as they are. Whether it's, you know, good news, bad news, just updating on appointments, proposals, everything you can imagine, we try to talk as much as possible.
Why would you say that's important?
You know, I think it's just important to make it more of a partnership than anything else. I think we work pretty much in cohesion most of the time, where Graham will call me after every appointment. I call him after every one we've set.
Using the Salesforce portal, it's very easy to use. You just go in and click on the appointment, you put your notes in there, you can see all the information on the client, email address, website, phone numbers. You can see all their notes that they put in. That helps you to be prepared to go to the meeting. Very easy to use. No, do not listen to all Connor's calls.
Just the important ones.
Just the important ones. And if there's any information that I would need to get to be prepared for the meeting. Yes, it's been very helpful to have that information there. and to be prepared to go into the meeting.
We have 3 appointments already set for this month. You know, it's people, from what I remember the appointments this month, a lot of them are people that don't have formal IT structures in place. They're kind of just, you know, freelancing it themselves. So I think being able to go and pitch from Graham's educational perspective on helping them out as much as we can, as well as implementing our processes at the same time, can be something that's super beneficial. And I think the ones we have set so far are definitely within our scope of what we can handle and be able to move forward with them pretty quickly.
The monthly recurring revenue that has been brought in is right about $6,000 per month.
Perfect. And Connor, those have all been set up by you done through outbound cold calling?
Yes.
Yep. We have a couple outbound cold calling, and you've had a couple meetings with schools just yourself based on the reputation and everything we built within the area. You know, I think I found specifically just within northern Indiana, it's a very friendly town. People are definitely open to conversations. And like Graham had mentioned earlier, there's nobody doing what we're doing, especially within a local aspect. There's some bigger corporations that are obviously our competitors, but being able to be a small shop like we are and give full services, I don't think there's anyone,
there's nobody.
We're doing. You know, I think some of it has to do with, again, the open communication dialogue we keep between each other. Again, Graham filling out notes is something not every single client does, but it's something I think has been super helpful in educating me, as well as I'm trying to educate him on the sales process most. And, you know, we take each other's feedback, obviously, very seriously, and making sure, you know, Graham's been one of the ones with, we kind of developed the sales process from scratch. He's very great about getting out proposals, within 2-3 days probably at max. And I think being able to reference those, even if it's something, you know, people aren't ready for at this certain point in time, they're able to hold on to that type of information and make sure it can be an option in the future, that when I'm calling, I'm just like, hey, proposal's still on file. You know, we'd love to work with you guys at some point. And it's become a matter of timing at this point. I feel very good about a lot of the appointments we've set, that it will close eventually, but in this industry, it's just timing more than anything.
There was no sales process being new, so having them build it out has been a lifesaver.
Clients are resistant to send out proposals. They don't want their numbers out there, but it's been helpful to reference those in the future. And not all of them are going to close, but I think how we developed the sales process was open communication, you know, just being able to, it's kind of just developed itself really over the time, where the leads just quickly develop, and following up, making sure those are consistent and everything. Oh yeah, and you know, especially Graham has expressed his appreciation through offering me that extra 10%, which is definitely not something every client does. But I think he understands the work we're putting in, and knows that over time, I mean, again, we plan to develop a very long partnership, and we'll continue to grow. I think we're already in a position where we're bringing on a new guy, or a new tech for the school. Is that what it was?
New tech for the school.
That's right. For the future, you know, it's going to be continuing to grow as we, you know, bring on more business. You know, obviously, being in a small town Goshen, I think we could even expand to the point where we're, you know, doing close to the whole state of Indiana, maybe. Who knows?
Anything's possible.
Yeah, but with managed services, I mean, a lot of the work can be done remotely. So I think just expanding our reach whenever we feel like we've tapped out that market is definitely an option for the future. Yeah, I think that market, I guess for me specifically, the Midwestern vibe is definitely nice. People are at the very least open to a conversation more times than not. And we're really just at a point right now where a lot of it's timing. I don't know the exact number, but I think we probably have close to $50,000 worth of proposals out. Say that figure's probably accurate.
Probably real close.
Yeah, and so a lot of the feedback we've been getting, we have meetings, you know, obviously given the timing of everything right now, it's something people are a little bit hesitant to switch and spend money on, just anything in general. But, you know, being the reputation we're establishing in the area and how meetings go, people are very warm, welcoming, and making, you know, it's slow baby steps, but, you know, hoping to jump into bigger leaps soon.